Um, you know what? If you live in a blue area, you probably are feeling pretty good that you can drive around and not have to see those Kamala signs everywhere. I won't lie. This is a super blue area I'm in right now, and I haven't seen hardly any Kamala signs. They took them down quick and put them in the garbage. Now, let's get down to it. Yesterday, I said this was a big middle finger to the establishment. But it wasn't just the establishment. This was a big middle finger to the snobby, liberal elitists that lecture us from their ivory towers about why we should vote for Kamala Harris, right? This is for Mark Cuban, J-Lo, Julia Roberts, the people on the left that lectured us, talked shit, right? Called you garbage, lashing out at minorities who voted for Trump. This middle finger is for y'all just as much as it's for the establishment politicians, the Hillary, the Obama, you know. And here's the thing, they lack self-awareness. This is why I say they're going to lose in 2028. They're on pace to lose. Number one, they need to take their medicine. They have no shame or humility about them. They won't reflect. They need to look in the mirror, right? Everything I've seen in the last 24 hours is blame. There's plenty of blame to go around, right? But not blame for the candidate for why she lost, not blame for the party for why they installed her, blame for us, right? It's not that they're the problem. They say that America's the problem. It's America's the problem, right? It's all these racist, sexist Latino men and black men and white men. You know, I saw somebody's Facebook post just fully unhinged. He's talking about um, white men and black men and Hispanic men who voted for Trump are essentially human scum or subhuman, something along those lines. You know, they're showing you their true colors. This is who they really are: mad, angry, vitriolic, unhinged, and unable, apparently, to take accountability, to look in the mirror and reflect, to wise up and realize y'all lost because your party is insane. Your party needs to be reformed. So that's one big reason I think they lose in 2028, because out the gates, they're lashing out again. They still don't get it. The media, which is essentially the mouthpiece of the Democrats, that their mouthpiece is Hollywood, celebrities, academia, media, right? Politics is downstream from culture. Well, look at the culture right now. They don't think you're intelligent. They think you're dumb. They think you're racist, garbage, trash. And if that's their message after they just got their asses thoroughly handed to them, well, then they're on pace to lose in 2028. So, I mean, keep on at it. You're going to lose in 2028 for sure. Another big reason is, you know, if you think about Donald Trump and what he was able to accomplish, right? As a political outsider, he came in with a low rating. People laughed at him when he said he was going to run. They're like, oh, he has no chance. Even people on the right said that. They laughed about it. And what did he do? He won the nomination. This is 2016. He won the nomination. He beat out the Republican establishment. And now that he ascended to the presidency 3 times, he has transformed that party. That party will never, ever be the same again. Now, there's still some issues with the party. You got to weed out some of the rhinos. There's, you know, the Liz Cheney still lurks around, although she's a joke. There are still some rhinos, some neocons within the party, but they don't have any influence. Now, on the left, what did they do? They nominated the worst possible candidate. And what did he do? He brought along the worst possible running mate. And then when it was time for her to run, what did she do? She went and got Tim Walz. So they don't even know how to nominate the right candidate, right? And I'm not for that party, right? But If you think about it, when they had what, like 40 Democrats running for president in 2019, they could have nominated a political outsider, but I think that party is so corrupt, they'll never be able to allow someone from outside of politics who's not controlled, who's not a puppet, to actually run for president. So they're not going to have a candidate that appeals to their base, let alone independents, people that they need to peel off from the conservative side. That's not going to happen if you have a Kamala Harris. They'll probably put another establishment puppet up in 2028. Right? All this is before we even get to the policy and how horrible in America last it is. But I tell you what, I wouldn't want to be on that side. Absolutely not want to be on that side, because I would feel like there's just no chance. There's no chance to reform the party. The people with the biggest mouths, the biggest influence, the people that kind of influence where the direction the party is going are your Mark Cubans, the people that just insult and belittle and talk down to the voters. You know what I'm saying? So I just think it's very interesting that they, can't take the loss. They can't reflect. They can't realize that they lost because their candidates sucked, their platform sucked, and all the people who were trying to get out the vote were just disrespectful. It's mind-boggling. I think that there's a lot of people out there that need wellness checks, for sure. Yeah, lecture us with lies. Exactly. Insulting the intelligence of people, right? With the fear mongering, with just the outlandish statements, geriatric Hitler and all this stuff. I've seen all the things on social media, and I've watched some of those videos too. I got a chance to see some of them, just some of the meltdown and crying. I'm like, they just lack self-awareness. Why would you want that out there? Why would you want to put that out on social media? It doesn't make any sense. And why are they blaming us as if we're the problem? Look at your candidate. Your candidate was garbage. You can't make this stuff up, you guys. This is something that was on my mind. I'm just like, you know what? They're on pace to lose in 2028 and beyond. And then you got to think about this. Blue states. What's happening with blue states right now? They're losing. People are leaving those states. They're going to Texas. They're going to Tennessee. They're going to Florida. They're going to Georgia, North Carolina, the Sun Belt, right? I was looking at the apportionment forecast for electoral votes, and they're on pace to lose about 12 electoral votes to red states. Technically, Texas and Florida are supposed to have more electoral votes now than they do. I think Florida's supposed to have 2 or 3 more electoral votes. Texas is supposed to have 4. I think Idaho is supposed to have 1. So it's going to put less pressure on whoever the Republican is. I'm not sure when they'll adjust it. I think it's for 2030, the 2030 census. By the 2030 census, they will have adjusted the electoral map. That puts less pressure on whoever runs as a Republican to have to win the Rust Belt, to have to win a blue state. They might just be able to win it outright if they, just peel off 1 or 2 of them. They won't need 7 states to be in play, because at that point, California will have less electoral votes. Same with New York, Illinois, Minnesota, Oregon. These are all states that I saw on the apportionment forecast. Something you guys can go look up. It's very interesting. So if you think long term, what the strategy is that's in place for conservatives to actually win and stay in power and continue for generations to come, I think it's all laid out right now. We got the runway right in front of us. You think about Trump going to be able to replace some Supreme Court justices that are getting up there. I think, Clarence Thomas, as great as he is, he should probably think about retiring while Trump is in office, because then somebody can come in to replace him that's young, conservative, principled, and since it's a lifetime appointment, be there for the long term. The last thing you want to see is a Ruth Bader Ginsburg situation where she was trying to hold out for Joe Biden to get in office, and then have him, replace her. But it backfired because, unfortunately she passed away. During Trump's administration, he replaced her with Amy Coney Barrett. So my point is, the strategy for conservatives, for Republicans long term, just for the country, is to not botch this, not get this wrong, take full advantage, pedal to the metal, right? Got the House, the Senate, the White House. I mean, full steam ahead. I have not felt this optimistic about the future prospects of the country probably since, I would say, before 2020, right? Probably 2019. Actually, probably before 2018 when the Dems took the House back, right? But back to their party, right? They got it wrong from the beginning. They botched it. The fundamentals, they got the fundamentals wrong. What was on the top of your mind going into this election cycle? The economy, right? The economy, at least for me, I know for sure, the economy and the border were my top two. The economy, the border, inflation, top three. Those three things mattered to me more than anything else, right? It makes sense. I'm a provider. I'm a protector. So I care about being able to provide for my family. So I care about the economy. I want to protect my family. So I care about the border. I care about crime. What did Kamala Harris do? What was her very first campaign stop? It was the freaking RuPaul drag show. That's what it was. What are those priorities? Pandering to that demographic? And then they thought, they could just ride the wave of abortion, baby murder. That was their entire campaign, was the ability to murder babies and hate Trump. So they botched that. The fundamentals weren't there. The wrong candidate was there. The culture wasn't there. The message wasn't there. You had a lot of insults, harassment, just completely chaotic, disjointed platform. And the results are what they are. But will they acknowledge anything I just said? No, they won't look in the mirror. It's easier to just point the finger at you for being a racist, sexist, xenophobe, homophobe, Nazi, brown shirt, whatever they want to call you, right? That it's just much easier to do that, to now lash out and now really show their true colors. Like, oh yeah, it's all these black dudes, these black dudes and these Latinos that voted for Trump. Apparently, we all got brainwashed, right? We didn't just use our own eyes and look around us and look at how much we were paying for gas, groceries, utilities, airline tickets, auto insurance 5 years ago, right? They just can't do it. They can't acknowledge that they got their asses kicked, and there's going to be residual effects of this loss. Residual effects. If you're just joining, I was talking about the apportionment forecast, which I don't think enough people are talking about. How red states like Florida and Texas actually got screwed out of electoral votes this cycle because the 2020 census, somehow it got screwed up. Florida and Texas were supposed to have more electoral votes because so many people fled California. California is supposed to have less. Minnesota, I believe, is going down from 10 to 9. New York's going to go from 28 or 29 down. And as long as those policies in those blue states continue, people are going to continue to flee and go to red states. And then when you get the 2030 census, you're going to have more electoral power in a state like Tennessee. A state like Tennessee will be more important than it already is, right? So it's just a way to play the long game. That's all I really had to say, guys. I just think that party, they're on pace to lose in 2028, and I am completely here for it. So stay the course. I'm not telling them to course correct at all. Stay the course. Run Kamala again in 2028. Use Mark Cuban to try to get out the vote. Have Cardi B come twerk on stage. Have these ignorant ass rappers like Plies browbeat and lecture and talk shit to everybody to see if that works. So I honestly hope they do the exact same thing. Keep the strategy status quo. Democrats, it's probably not going to work out for you. And that's what I think. So, yeah. Anyway, appreciate everybody for tuning in today. I do have to get back to work, but I just had some thoughts on my mind I wanted to share with you guys. So it took a few minutes to do that. I'm planning on having a live stream probably tomorrow with good buddy of mine that worked at Right Side with me. So probably sometime tomorrow evening, if it works out for schedule wise between him and myself. So just be on the lookout for that. Appreciate everyone for tuning in. Make sure you give it a thumbs up. All right. Give it a thumbs up. God bless you. Sorry I didn't get to interact with the chat, but I do have to run. I'll catch you guys in the next stream.